Hello there, YouTube land.
Welcome back.
Today we thought we would do a fun little get ready with me in terms of the Motionless and White concert happening today at 5 p.m. You'll be seeing this video at a later date, but you can see what we did for the streaming concert is just like a fun thing for ourselves while we watch the show.
Yeah.
So how has everyone been?
We haven't really had a lot of commentary lately, so we want to hear from you.
Yeah. What's going on in your life? Are you doing anything entertaining?
Anything fun? Any new movies? Anything.
Yeah.
Any new books?
We want to know. We're always on the lookout for new movies, new books. New movies and books are fun.
They are. I still miss the days of going out to bookstores.
Yeah, because as much as you can do browsing online and you can hear from different people online, it's not the same as going into a bookstore and, for instance, being able to browse an author's entire catalog.
Yes, because a lot of bookstores do not carry the entirety of a series, which drives me absolutely bonkers.
Yes.
Especially when I want... And I've noticed that they aren't carrying a lot of new releases on the days they release.
Yeah.
And some of these books I kind of want to look at before I...
Exactly.
Because if I don't like it, I'm not buying it.
Exactly. And, for some of us, being able to see a book in person and see the cover art in person has a different effect than just seeing an image of it online. And call us old school, whatever. It's different.
It is different. And we are a little bit old school, so...
Yeah.
Not really an insult there.
No, it's not. Speaking of old school, a friend of mine recently online said something that actually rings true. Gen X is the only generation that seems like people are dying to get into. Like, people that are a little bit older than what the supposed cutoff dates are like, come on, I want to be a Gen X. Or there have been randomly, Gen Z, asking, well, can we join? And I find that really interesting. Nobody wants to be a boomer. No one wants to be a millennial, but people want to be Gen X.
Can you blame them?
Yeah, well, it's just funny. I find that very entertaining.
So we have... Actually, we got really excited because our movie theaters reopened.
Yes.
So you're going to hear about a review of one of the more, now, brand new movies.
Yes. And we won't give any spoilers in this video, but the review that we give is going to be very in-depth.
Yes.
We have a lot to say.
We had a lot to say in the theater.
Yeah, we did. The last movie I remember us talking about in the theater to that extent was actually a movie we both enjoyed, but not for the right reasons. And that was our talking after the movie Lights Out.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Lights Out, it really is a feel-good movie. I mean, a lot of people might say, oh, it's a horror film or whatever, but it's hilarious. It is so funny.
If you've been following us for a while, you know that we find some things really, that are supposed to be scary, really funny, and or comforting.
And Lights Out, just for some reason, hits our giggle box. It just makes us laugh and laugh and laugh. And I don't really know how to explain it.
I don't either, because it's kind of just...
The premise is really depressing in the movie. And we'll probably do a full-on review of it at some point, but it's just funny that movie hits us in a very specific way. I think I need to angle more toward the camera because most of your face is off camera.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to actually reach forward to get the makeup.
We are in a very, very small, collapsed space to get to anything, which is kind of funny. At some point, we will give a tour of our filming space. And everyone will probably laugh uproariously.
Because it is kind of funny.
It is.
How we actually managed to film.
To pull this off is a heck of a thing. So what's the most entertaining thing you've had happen as of late?
Oh, entertaining. Well, life's not always been really entertaining lately. I would say it would have to be with, I call him my middle child, my emo child, Calder. These are Scottish deerhounds. These are not actual children. So he has Lyme disease. He tested positive for Lyme not too long ago, and that's with the vaccine. So we've been we treat him as he becomes symptomatic. But I bought him a new orthopedic bed, and he actually sleeps out in our living room on his bed at night. So he is keyed in to when my alarm goes off. So my husband usually gets up at about 4 and goes to work. And Calder doesn't stir. But I also sleep on the opposite side. Like closest to the wall. So lately, it has been a game for Calder of how can I make Mom jump and pet me. So I roll over the other day, and there, instead of, my dad, or my husband. So instead of my husband's head on his pillow, I roll over, and there's Calder.
Oh my god.
I mean, literally, this hound head's, like, even with my eyeballs. So, so I jump. Well, the poor dog jumps. He runs. Like, literally runs.
Oh, no.
I hit into the wall because my side is right by the wall. And then it wakes up all the other dogs.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
So, yeah, Calder and I have had some very interesting...
Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
What about you? What's your most amusing thing?
Oh, goodness. It probably has to do with my cousin once again. Which, in and of itself...
What has Josh done now? It's bad that I know who this is about.
Yes. So, the most recent amusement has been... Well, in general, Josh and I have been every Sunday night, we watch some type of movie or whatever. And, this one evening, I forget which movie it was when this happened, but we were watching the movie, and his wife was up, and so she and I were kind of chit-chatting a little bit too via text. And randomly, Josh fell asleep. He was dead asleep, dead to the world, and so Rachel texted me, and she was like, I hate to tell you this, your cousin's asleep. I'm like, so now we both have to watch this crappy movie while he sleeps through it. And she said, yeah, isn't that great?
Fail, Josh. Fail.
Oh, shucks. So that's been the most, like, entertaining thing as of late. On a cooler note, I was able to get this one company had come out with like classic Universal Monster puzzles.
Okay.
And they're like 500-piece puzzles. And so my dad and I are going to try and work these bloody things. Which is kind of funny considering he and I are half blind. Yes, we're working puzzles and we can't see.
It happens. The eyeliner questions.
You know, the other thing, and I don't know if you've been experiencing this lately, but it's very rare that I, like, will plan out a makeup look anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of go with the flow and do whatever my emotions, like, give me a whim to do. Which is kind of funny, ultimately. Because when I was younger, everything was, like, extremely planned and everything. Now, not so much.
I don't plan mine at all. I did when I was young. I mean, when I used to get up for school, oh my god.
I still remember the days in the 80s where it was common to, like, get up at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, I never did this. This was not me. This was other people in my class. But it was common to get up at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning in order to do all your makeup and have, like, your hair teased out to here and just so. And my hair never did that. It would never curl. And it's just because it is very, very thick and very straight.
My sisters would have the perfect tease.
Mm.
She would get up like that. I mean, it was like, complete with caboodle kit and everything else.
Yeah. I was more on the lines of, I still want to sleep. So I wouldn't get up until the very last point that I had to get up.
And me, I was a tomboy in a lot of high school settings. Tomboy and goth.
Yeah, I mostly wore, because back then, it wasn't like it is now. The internet wasn't really a thing, so you didn't have online ordering. So only places you could get, like, gothy t-shirts or band t-shirts were, like, if you lived in a big city that would happen to have a shop, or if you would mail order something that would take forever to get in. And I didn't have the availability of that very often, so I mostly just wore black or band t-shirts of, like, there was a lot of metal bands and things like that, and so our record stores would carry those, so I'd, like, find anything I could that had, like, bat wings and so on and so forth, and just, kind of make my own look around that, and that's what I wore. And, that didn't require a lot of look. You don't have to do a whole lot to pull that off. So it was pretty simple. Now, if I was going to get dressed up or something, and then of course I would do something more extensive than that, or if I was going to go to a concert or something, then I would do something more extensive.
Oh yeah.
Or of course Halloween, that was a big one. But I never really did the whole big giant, oh, I have to look just so for school and things like that. It just wasn't my thing.
It was, for me, I didn't have a lot of makeup then, so I would just do basic stuff and then go.
Yeah, the only thing I had was, like, what you could get at the drugstore. It wasn't like, having access to anything that was really major. And back then, of course, like, all the high-end makeup was totally out of reach.
Yeah, that was called Beg Mom and Dad for.
Yeah. Wasn't really until I hit college that I started getting, like, more high-end makeup and whatnot. And even then, at times, there were people that looked at me like I was crazy.
We are.
True.
We are definitely a little bit bonkers.
But in a good way. A wholesome way, if you...
Yes.
I dropped. I should have held.
This is truly what it is like to get ready with us, because we do drop stuff, we do.
There is no, like, perfection. We don't do perfection in front of the camera, we don't have perfection behind the camera. Sometimes I wonder how we manage to pull off what we do.
There's the talent.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad that Motionless and White is actually sticking with their, they call them Deadstream concerts.
Yes. Because where Tabby and I live, bands that are, you know, in the metal genres and things don't come through a lot. So we don't have access to going to see a lot of the bands we like.
Yeah.
So it's nice when a band creates an opportunity like this to where it doesn't matter where you live or where you're at, you can still see the show.
It's just a byproduct of, you know, where we are.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of is what it is, sort of thing. In exchange for that, we get a lot of trees. And animals. So that part's nice.
That part is nice. Speaking of. So, I've realized that we have quite the rabbit boom.
Oh my.
The dogs have realized we have quite the rabbit boom.
Uh-oh.
The rabbits have not realized we have quite the dogs.
Oh boy. That makes for interesting times. I like rabbits, though. I mean, they can be destructive, but they're neat creatures.
They're really neat creatures. They're very neat to Scottish deerhounds, too.
Yeah.
And one very old pit bull. So for those of you that have known me for a while, you know I have dogs. Those of you that are possibly new, I have Scottish deerhounds and my ancient Methuselah pit bull, Phoebe.
And Phoebe is a trip.
Phoebe is a trip. She's, unfortunately she just got diagnosed with Cushing's, but that's not, it's not a death sentence by any means, so no. She's a happy dog.
She's just getting older and getting some health problems, and like the rest of us, getting more crotchety as the day goes by.
Literally, she will, if it's even flurrying snow, she'll stop dead at the door, turn around, go back to her bed, lay down, and not move.
Can't say I blame her.
I'm like, I really can't blame you for that one. Today is the day that I just cannot get the makeup to do what I want it to do.
Those happen. They just happen. I've had worse days than this, and I've had better days than this.
Sometimes all in one day.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Pardon me. Those of you that know me by now, you know I use my fingers for a lot of stuff.
I use all manner of stuff. I've just found certain things that I like to work for certain things better than others. And then certain eyeshadow palettes will work better with a finger than they do with a brush.
Yep.
It just kind of all depends on
at least
what I'm using that
palette
day.
is what I'm using, and it's not... Oh, you can do both.
Yeah.
Easily.
Lipstick guy.
I love liquid lipstick, but that's one of the downfalls.
It is.
So I used to worry about this. Anybody knows that I usually have either this mirror or another one.
Mm-hmm.
So not long ago I was doing something. I put on my lipstick and I was fanning like this. And I turned around to touch my Kindle to change the music and whacked myself in the face.
Oh no!
With the mirror. I was like, great. Real slick.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So, we hope you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me. And, like we said, comment down below with some new stuff that you've gotten into and everything, because we're always in look for new movies and new books and things to read. So, until next time.
We're going to go catch a concert.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.